Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. Got the FP After Dark stream. Travis, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? I see you in here. We are, obviously going to be talking about today's events here in college football. Very, very interesting day. Uh, a lot of this conversation obviously is going to be around our big, wonderful team that got their first victory of the season today. The Texas Longhorns 38-7 over the San Jose State Spartans. But the game of the week nationally and one that has our attention, and we'll talk about Florida as well. Florida's not off the hook. We're going to talk about Florida too. But the game of the week was OU, Michigan. Michigan going to Oklahoma. College game day was there, all that. And OU delivered, played very well today. John Mateer is definitely a star. Put his name on the map nationally today. Had an outstanding performance in front of the country. They won 24-13. So we're going to talk about that because the way we're playing right now, we need to be aware of these things. To be honest with you guys, especially with the way our offense is looking in particular. Somebody said, don't forget about Arizona State. I saw Bonnie's son running around at Mississippi State, catching balls all over the place, Mr. Brennan Thompson. So a lot going on. Tran, how you tonight? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing well. We won, and our first tackle game, we won as well. We shut every team out, so I'm in good spirits, brother. What about you?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So let's start with Texas. Let's focus on Texas, and then I do want to jump to the OU conversation. In regards to Texas, we haven't really talked too much today. Where's your head at after this game? I know we didn't cover. I know there were some good things you probably saw some on both sides of the ball and some things that are concerning. So just your overall, breakdown of today's game, Tram.
I mean, it kind of played out the way that I thought it'd play out. I thought we'd turn over the ball quite a bit, get ourselves some easy possessions, short fields. I know we both predicted a punt block or a kick block or anything or something like that, which we came very close, but ended up roughing the punter. There's a lot of rough patches. Let's be honest. I mean, it 38-7.
It's okay to be honest, especially
Yeah.
in games like this. This is what September's for.
Yeah. I mean, did we think that we were going to come out of this game and just be perfect? No, not after what we saw in Columbus. The idea is to progressively get better. And I did see progression throughout this week. We were hitting those short spots. We hit the long ball a couple times. I'm pleased with the progression week over week. If that's just me, yes, we didn't beat the spread. We could have. We were driving, and I think we threw a pretty bad interception. We can't do that. But if we do that, I'd rather do it in a game like this than, we're fighting for the playoffs or something like that.
So for me, I am definitely, obviously I'll take the win. Win first and foremost. I know it's a tune-up game, but teams to this point right here, Texas has their flaws, but looking around the country, there are a lot of teams with serious issues. I completely agree with this comment. Context does matter. Right now, it does look rough, right? Which is why OU's win to me is a big deal because it's not a whole lot of teams playing good ball right now. Like that, I'm like, oh my! Like today, Oregon might have looked the best, right? Like in terms of now, Gundy and them may be trying to get fired too. So I don't know what's going on at Oklahoma State. That's a nasty situation. But Oregon, like off the eye test, looked elite today. So it's not that many teams, right? Penn State hasn't played anybody. I'm not going to take anything away from them. We know where Ohio State stands. We can't, so that stands over there. But FSU, FSU looks good for sure. I mean, they 77 or whatever. Gus ran it up on them fools over there. So yeah, FSU is part of the conversation, but it's not. The point is there's not like a whole slew of teams that are like, oh my gosh, like what are we gonna do, right? Before today, let's be honest. Before today, everybody was worried about the Florida game. Now that's the point. Everybody's tune has changed. Everybody thought USF was supposed to be their tune-up game, and next thing you know, they're in hell and they don't get out of it. So we have to keep some of this in context. With that being said, I knew that a lot of these teams in the country would look like this, which is why I'm like, Texas, now's the time to strike, because there's not that many. It's not this difficult path like there typically is that I see. To me, it's not. But we're just as flawed as other people, and I think that's the frustrating part, when it's like we want to excel and be there, right, and be better. And this is what I mean by that. And I may sound harsh, but I want to really, really get into this. I am very critical in grading this team on situational moments. And I'm going to be repetitive. How do you start a football game? How do you look in 2-minute drill going into halftime? How do you look coming out of halftime? And how do you look at the end of the game? Texas, again, fails that test in today's game. They had a very poor start to this game. Now, they didn't give up because, San Jose State has kicking issues or whatever. They weren't punished for it. So the middle 8, if you will, right? The middle 8 of that period, that's where Texas dominated. That middle 8, that's where Texas gets all their points, the end of the first quarter. And really the beginning of the second quarter, Texas goes on a 28-0 run, right? The rest of the football game from the 12-minute 56 mark of the second quarter, it's a 10-7 ball game with San Jose State guys. And I don't care who was playing. It's San Jose State. Okay? I watched Ohio State play Grambling today, and Julian Sayin went 18 of 19 for 300-something yards, 4 touchdowns, and the backups came in and did their thing, and Bo Jackson ran for 100 yards. Like, I don't want to hear excuses, because they weren't executing from the first snap of the game. The first snap of the game is a penalty, and that set the tone for them having, 12 penalties today, well over 100 yards in penalties at home. That's not getting better week over week, knowing that penalties was an issue last week. Now, and you only had 6 penalties last week, Tran. That doubled up today. And it may not matter because, you played San Jose State, but these little details are why you lost last week. That's the point. Clean up the details. 3rd down, 2 for 12 today. That's not going to get it done against the good teams. When y'all got to goal line, you started bullshitting today. You got a penalty, and then he threw the long touchdown to Jack Indries. But you couldn't punch it in at the goal line against San Jose State. So I have questions. And I'm ringing the bell now because it needs to get solved now before it's too late. Look, I know people may say, Steve, this sounds like panic, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about certain situations. I'm not talking about the whole football team. We can get away beating a lot of people just with the defense alone. Let's be honest. We can. But where are we trying to go, Tran? We've been to the playoffs back-to-back years. Yep. We trying to go to a higher standard, bruh. If we haven't been to the playoffs before and we're just trying to get there for the first time, then a lot of this shit we could let slide, in my opinion. But not right now. We can't let this slide. It has to get addressed now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we still, like I said, all I wanted to see this week was progression. I did see progression. I mean, look at the difference, the context of our offense. Like Arch had 295. Yes, I know the defense between San Jose and San Jose State and also Ohio State are a little bit different. but just a little different. But Arch almost had 300 yards, and honestly, he probably should have had like 350 if Ringo catches that ball over the middle, because he's still probably running. I mean, those little situational things like that, like the drops have to stop. There's been quite a few drops that I'm just not. I don't understand. Especially when you're trying to get in a rhythm and you're trying to get cohesion with your wide receiver core. That's got to stop. I don't know why we couldn't run the ball. For the life of me, I don't understand it. Like they mentioned a stat that we outweighed them by, was it almost 40 pounds?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
40 pounds. And did we go over 150 yards rushing?
We did. We finished at 155. Now, I'll give you the breakdown, because a lot of that was Jared Gibson's yards at the end and Arch's big run. Arch had that 20-yard run.
Yeah.
So Cedric Baxter went 64 yards, 13 carries. Gibson, 38 yards, 7 carries. Arch, 23 yards, 4 carries. Christian Clark, 21 yards, 7 carries. And then Wingo and Moore had 2 carries, 9 and 6 yards. So that was, but a lot of those yards, there was a lot of negative plays on those carries, or people getting hit in the backfield, or missing a block, right? So, and this is a San Jose State team that had given up, 230, 250 yards the week before against Central Michigan. And I watched that game and it was a terrible game to watch, but I watched that game. And Central Michigan was more physical than we were today. I'll be honest with you. It was just want to. We started this game like we were too cool for school. And it wasn't until Parker Livingstone's 83-yard touchdown, where he just ran away from everybody, that they got that lively pep in their step. And,
well, running away from everybody and the guy falling is a little bit different. There was a guy that should have made the play that just fell. I don't know why. Not much of an athlete, but he fell on his face. And then Ringo actually had a pretty good block upfield. I will give Ringo that credit.
Ringo did have yeah. He doesn't score without the Wingo block. That's a great point.
But I agree with you. It's like the offense was just morbid. And then we started getting turnovers, and then we started converting on the short fields, like what you and I predicted was going to happen. But I thought we'd score a little bit more than 38 points. I think I predicted 45-10, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't far off, but
no. They did. Hey, if you called the under on this, the under hit, I thought it was 52.5, and it was a 36.5 point spread. Look, we have to play better ball. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna they improved today. They got some confidence. There's some good. We can call out individual players that played well today. I mean, there were some guys getting active. Again, my man Anthony Smith. He wasn't playing around. Okay, honestly, the whole linebacker core, to me, they were standing on business. Do you want to go? Where do you want to go on the defense? Because I know that's your area of expertise.
Let's start with the D line. They were getting. I thought they were getting a pretty good push on the wall. To tell you the truth, they were running the ball very well against us. It seemed like we were just going through the motions with them. Like, hey, we know we could beat them. And then there was that one drive where they just drove it down. We can't do that. We can't give a team like that confidence, any bit of confidence whatsoever. I don't know what was going on. And then I think one of the big topics that you and I actually did text about is, I don't know if you want to start on this right now, but Colin Simmons. Do you want to start on that?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. A lot of expectations coming into this season, all the hype. And I think a lot of that hype aligns to statistics and him getting sacks and him trying to break the sack record and not even just the sack record, but the sack drought at Texas, which is 10, right? And
Mhm.
this, this juice and expectation to be a playmaker, right? To live up to the hype. But here's the thing: you get to a point where you're overly aggressive and you're pressing and you're trying to make these plays. And I think right now with Colin, he's doing too much and his motor is running a little too hot for what we need instead of allowing the game to come to him, instead of understanding how people are playing you. And if you're not getting set, as long as you're just being disruptive and you're doing your job relative to the other 10 guys, defense, as much as you got to be coordinated on offense, defense, especially with your run fits and rush lanes, this is a reason why Dallas had their problems with Micah Parsons, right? Because it was like, is it about you or is it about the defense? And you sometimes doing your own thing and not sticking with us. And I'm not saying that that's the case with Colin Simmons, but that's the pressure I think he's starting to feel. And so that explained to me that that's where I'm going with the penalties, the over in the frustration. And hey, people know who you are, bro. They're gonna roll pocket away from you. They're gonna do things away from you. You have to allow your teammates to allow the ball to flow back to you. You're going to create a lot of opportunities for the guy on the other side, like a Ethan Burke or Zena, who when he comes to the game, or Landon Jackson. The plethora of defensive ends that we have, but he has to allow the game to come to him. He can't just. It's almost like to me when he jumps off sides, it's like. You said it. You're like, yo, you're kind of being selfish by like
Yeah.
jumping and all that, and it's like you're kind of chasing a little bit. That's
Yeah.
the vibe I'm getting.
And I don't know Colin. I'm going to say that. So my whole thought would be is that he is a young kid and he sees all these accolades that he got so young, even in college. I mean, freshman All-American, led Texas in sacks last year. Probably is going to be the next double-digit sack player at Texas in a single season. He's probably seeing that and he's probably thinking, oh, NFL is going to be calling soon. I need to get these stats. But what he doesn't know is that NFL GMs are way smarter than just stats. They're way smarter.
I think he knows. I think he knows that
Yeah.
though. I think he's putting pressure on himself.
That's what I'm saying. And
he
wants to hit those tiers and those records that you're talking about, the statistical, and he is just pressing, and he's not being as disciplined as he could be. And I mean, the kid's just a freak athlete. We know that. We know how good of a talent he is. And I think he just needs to just play free, play focused, and just lock in, and just the stats will come. Mm-hmm. They will. It's a long season. Ideally, we're playing 16 games.
I agree. You know who else is pressing? To me, the quarterback still. He did a better job today. He had a hot period today. But that pick he throws in red zone.
It's awful.
That's him, but that's also him trying to be like I said, that was like a Jameis pick. It's like, dude, like the play's dead, bro. Come on. Like you're like trying to juke the guy. The guy doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't fall for it. Throw it away. Like now you're throwing. Your feet are under you. You know what I mean? Like the decision making. You're pressing, and I know Arch is pressing by how he's talking, because he's pressing because he's like, yeah, my team's relying on me, like blah blah blah, like, and I'm hearing that, I'm like, bro, you don't have we don't go as you go right now. We're not built like that. We're kind of built for you to manage the team. Let's not get this twisted. We can win. I saw Bo Scaife video. Bo Scaife put a video on Twitter and was basically saying, Arch, just run the offense. Like, chill. You can develop, learn, and we can actually be a little bit more conservative with him and take his shots where we need to. than you just pressing and thinking that you got to make every single play known to man. And another thing, people are saying, "Oh, he looks like he's injured when he's wincing on his face." He's not injured. First of all,
No.
no trainers. If he was injured, there'd be somebody working with him, right? You would hear about him working with a trainer. You would see him doing things with a tennis ball, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
He's sitting there on the sideline,
Yeah.
cooling. Here's the thing: he's making a lot of those faces he's making is because he's knowing
Disgusted faces on his passes.
he's disgusted.
It's disgusted faces on his pass. He does this. He's like,
He knows.
Yeah.
He can feel it. He can feel when his feet are off. He can feel when his base has gotten too wide. He can feel it. And he's you know what I mean? Like you can. And so, dude, relax. Have fun. Last year, he was just cutting it loose. No, I ain't got no worries. Because he didn't know how long he was going to have the job last year. So he was just, it's like he got the car for the first time. And it was just, he wasn't worrying about, whether or not he had his turn signal. Like when you first start driving, and you have anxiety about every little thing. Did I have my turn signal on? Did I accelerate into the entry lane when I'm getting on the highway properly? And all these type of things. You're so mindful of it. And they tell you what, just relax. Let your instincts kick in. You have time behind the wheel. You've done this over and over and over. Relax, brother. Let your instincts take over. And right now, Arch is pressing a little bit too, for different reasons. But But the thing is, you're my leaders. Y'all are my faces. So let's just, because I think a lot of the team will assume that as well. Now the defense has more veteran leadership. Like Michael Taft is still balling. Manny Muhammad, like all these other guys are
Manny
still
Muhammad,
at him.
yeah.
So the defense knows how to, I think, settle themselves. But offensively, I really just need Arch to understand sometimes getting, isolating the play is a bad play and not making it worse or compounding on the play is a good thing. Right? That saves us. So he's going to continue to need to learn those things about himself. Y'all hit the like button while we're here late night. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Some really, really great comments going on. Going back to the defense, though. Littleton looked good today. He had some moments.
He did bite on that double move.
He was biting.
Yeah.
He was biting. He had some moments. My thing, though, is, and this goes to I see some OU people popping in here showing their face. I see y'all. Congrats on your win. You see, I keep it a buck here. We talking ball for real. There was some we let's be honest. Egett missed some plays, some big time. Egett missed some balls, and then their receivers had some drops. So our defense wasn't perfect today.
Nope.
We can't just isolate the 7 points to one bad drive. Let's be honest. And I'm saying that because the way John Mateer looked tonight, when we play in Dallas, we are going to have our hands full if we don't wake up and take OU seriously like we should. I don't want to hear any more about OU's not a threat. That like I'm watching the games. Okay, we're watching the games. This will be a problem because there are holes in the secondary where people are getting beat, and we did not have to pay for it. We didn't. There was arguably a couple touchdowns that the guy just freaking threw the ball out of bounds, and that the San Jose State receivers naked.
Yeah,
that stuff has to get cleaned up, brother. So, look, this is the wake up call has to happen now.
Hey,
it has to happen now.
So the only thing I want to touch on is we can't sleep on OU. You're right, 100%. But I think after Sam Houston State, we can't sleep on any team. Like, I don't care what happened to Florida today. We can't sleep on Florida. We're going to be at Florida, and they're going to want to have their get back. And then, so to me, this is another good thing is that like I said, I saw progression. I saw we were able to move the ball. I saw we were able to get people open. things like that. We have technically 3 more weeks until my idea of the season starts. You get better progressively every single week until you hit the ground running for SEC play. I know Florida isn't good, but Florida does have players.
Florida isn't good. It doesn't. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Their defense is good enough to give our offense problems,
Yep.
and that in itself would make it a game, Quentin. I agree with you. Overall, I don't think they're that great. I'm not scared of them in terms of their offense right now because they have some problems offensively. It seems like all they can do is run the ball. Like, let's just be honest. I don't know what's going on with Lagway and them. It seems like a lot of hollow stats with the completions. But Florida's defense isn't bad. They're not bad. And Florida's defense is a lot better than San Jose State's defense. And their defense was able to hold us to 10 points for 70% of a football game today. So they're not good. Doesn't matter to me if we're not playing well. We can still get beat. We can still get beat. Texas is not playing well right now. I don't know how many we're not playing the way we expected to play. Even if regardless of if you thought our archers I expected us to run the ball better because we ran the ball. I thought we ran the ball well last week, but was it fool's gold? Like these are things that need to get fixed. These things needs to get fixed. Yeah, John Mateer can't run. No, that's the thing with OU. If we're going to talk about OU, so to Rob's point, I will say this: they can't run the ball outside of John Mateer. That run game is non-existent if he's not the one carrying the ball. And can he carry the ball 15 to 20 times
a game
in SEC play and get away with that and be expected to throw for 250, 300 yards?
If he can, hats off to him. If
he can, he's going to win the Heisman. Yeah. If he can, he's another Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
That's essentially what Jaden Daniels was doing at LSU. He didn't have a big time run game with his running backs. Now he had elite receivers, obviously Malik Neighbors and BTJ, but if Mateer can continue to keep that up and stay healthy, and he's still able, they run Michigan. You can't tell me Michigan didn't know that they were running quarterback draw in some of those situations, and they had nothing for it. He was moving the chains every time. So if he's able to run like that and then throw well enough, he has mechanical problems too. He'll overthrow seam consistently, which is how Michigan got one of their interceptions today. And it's all over film. He overthrew seam all the time at Washington State. It's a mechanical thing, it seems, that Brooks pointed out. But overall, he's dangerous.
Yeah.
He's dangerous. That's going to be bro, I'm old enough to remember Dylan freaking Gabriel running for 60 yards on the defense out of nowhere. So this guy can do things. We're gonna have to play at a high level. We're gonna have to now that we have time. That's the good news. We have time.
We got 4 weeks. We've got a full month before that. And like I said, luckily for us, we have 2 more tune-up games. And I'm not trying to disrespect UTEP. I'm not trying to disrespect Sam Houston State. Those should be easy wins for us again.
We play UTEP next.
Yeah.
And then San Jose State before the bye. I'll tell you right now, the UTEP game, I have not watched a lick of UTEP yet. So I don't know. All I know is I think Malachi Nelson's their starting quarterback. So if he is still with the job, you'll have 2 of the top 5 guys in the 2023 class facing off against each other between him and Arch. But I haven't done any UTEP prep yet. But here's what I know. We better damn well run the football in that game. For my mental sanity, I need to know that this past week
was
was
a fluke.
unacceptable.
Was a fluke.
Kyle flooding them. I don't.
I do think that having Trey back will help out a lot because he's just like he's just a different back for us. He's a hey, I'm gonna smack the first defender that's gonna come tackle me type of back. It's just a different mindset. I do think that will help out a lot from the run game.
We need and I also want to see us just the penalties, like the little stuff, right? Let's get the penalties down. And here's the biggest thing for me for UTEP. I'm gonna say it right now. Biggest thing I need to see, even outside of establishing the run and improving on the penalties. I need the situational football players to favor Texas. Practice that now. Practice coming out and dominating the first 4 minutes of the ball game.
Agreed.
Practice finishing the 2-minute drill, whether you're on defense and you're stopping them from getting points, or you're on offense looking to get points going into the half.
Hey, for God's sake, also opening script, can it be on point?
Dude, what's the stat now? Y'all have the stat about
once it was like only 2 games that we've accepted the ball.
Where we got
in the Sark era that we've actually scored a touchdown. We didn't do that this week. I know that for sure. But yeah, opening script. Come on, man. That you work on the first 15 plays consistently throughout practice.
Michael Short, thank you for the super chat. So Florida lost. You can't say, oh, it should just be San Jose State or UTEP. Yeah, I mean, I think what you mean by that is like them playing USF, right? Like you can't just shrug it off. I think that's the context I'm reading this in. Like the stuff, like we say tune-up games for a reason because we should be able just to be able to walk out of there, but that doesn't mean you walk into that with the mentality that it is a tune-up game either.
Last I saw was like UTEP, and I'm not trying to disrespect them or anything like that. Yeah, they have Malachi Nelson. I think the last time we played him, it was with Dylan, right? That running back, Dylan.
Oh, Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. Yeah.
No, was that? No, we played UTEP more recently than that. That's when they had Jacob Cowing, I think, the receiver.
Oh, okay. It was like
yeah.
I was like, and
before he went to Arizona. During the Charlie Strong era.
Yeah, and we still dominated him. Like in that, and Aaron Jones was a special running back. I think he was leading the nation in rushing at one point. So, yeah, I'm not trying. Like I said, I'm not trying to disrespect UTEP, but we're not good enough team to just right now hey, we're going to overlook this team. But we are way more talented than them, if that makes sense. We've talked a lot about the negative. I mean, we did win 38-7. What's some of the positive? Because I remember the things that I said pregame that I wanted to see us be able to hit the quick passes. Number one, hit the quick passes. I wanted to see us turn over the ball. We did those 2 things for the most part, I'd say. And then the third one was I wanted to see the field goal kicker. And one of the things to me was seeing the field goal kicker hit a 48 or 47 yarder in a weather game. It was raining during that game, and it looked seamless for him. Which it wasn't like Bert Auburn last year when he was kicking a field goal outside of 30 yards. I was holding my breath.
Another positive is Parker Livingston.
Yeah.
I think he's seizing the wide receiver 1 job. Look, we can talk about Wingo, but you asked about positives right now. Parker Livingstone's making plays for his quarterback. They clearly have chemistry. They clearly feel comfortable with each other. I think I think that a positive, just Parker's development. He's a weapon. He's 6'4". He can run. Um, he's he's got great hands. So, and he had a great day today. What, 4 catches? The only thing
120, something like that.
4 catches, 128, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's an elite day. On 5 targets. The only thing you can say is probably, why didn't the guy have 10 targets? Right? Like, Quentin, super chat. Shout out to the exciting whites. So, Jack Injuries was also seems to have a connection with Arch. Good things seem to happen when he targets Jack Injuries. So right now, he's got a connection with 2 guys, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. So that to me is a positive. Arch using his legs is a positive to me. We talk about yeah, Michael, I can only do 30 minutes on Bleacher Report. Those streams have to be 30 minutes. So those are like straight to the point. He said my stream ended it early. You're funny. I saw that as I was talking and it made me laugh. But you having those connections with injuries is great, but Arch's legs, that's where I was going. Him using his mobility, I mean, look how much of a weapon that is for OU and Mateer. The thing is, Mateer is confident because he's been with Ben Arbuckle for years now. Arch has been with Sark for years, but he hasn't been playing. Mateer's been playing.
Well, and
right?
Let's be honest. Sark doesn't like running as quarterback.
Sark doesn't like a lot of stuff, but it's 2025. You got to evolve.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, look at Justin. Look, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. The great coaches evolve and adjust with the times. But here's a great example. Did anybody watch the Chargers-Chiefs game in Brazil on Friday night? Shout out to Karol G in the halftime. If you know, you know. But Justin Herbert, what is Jim Harbaugh known for? Being conservative, running the football, 12 personnel. They were slinging the rock. They came out there slinging the rock. And you know what else Justin Herbert was doing to win the game, to ice the game? He was using his legs. He was not hesitant. There was a time when he ran down the sideline, it looked like freaking when Harbaugh had Kaepernick down the side to ice the game with that 19-yard run. You got to do what you got to do based upon where football is right now. And if the Chargers can do that, because they kind of had Justin Herbert on lock and key last year, all of a sudden they seem to be opening things up, being more. Now, he's still going to be physical and run the ball. That's not my point. But we ain't going to hide the quarterback either. If he's gifted, he's gifted. Sark can't just say, I understand why he doesn't want to run the quarterback. And we're not saying Arch needs to be Sam Ehlinger. But Arch needs to be Arch. And Arch is a dual threat quarterback. It's okay. It's okay. He needs to use his legs. He makes his best plays when he's moving, to me. At least right now in his career. He's going to develop into a more mature quarterback for sure. But right now, a positive is when Arch uses his leg. Look at his face when he ran the ball in. That's where the swagger. When his swagger comes when he starts running. Like, I don't know. I just think he needs to. That's how he has fun, and let him be him. He needs to be running. I'm actually more favorable for Arch running more now than I was to start the season because he's not as developed as where he needs to be. So that can offset the learning curve with the passing if you allow him to move more. So that's overall a positive because he did do that today. Yeah. And it was a highlight for me. I have another positive. I really like Nick Towson, the freshman tight end, number 81. That guy's a dog. Nick Towson can play for me anywhere, anytime. Like Nick Towson, I know he wasn't catching. I don't think he caught a pass today. I know Amari Winston caught a ball. I know Jordan Washington caught a ball. Like the tight ends were active today. The tight ends seem to be. Is it me, Trent, or are the tight ends ahead of the receivers outside of Parker Livingstone?
100%. 100%. They're ahead of the receivers, and I'm not against it. Usually they're the ones that are harder to get up to speed on the scheme, especially for them all being basically new to the scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Spencer Shannon's another blocker, big ass blocker that we have too. It seems like we have 4 or 5 tight ends that can play.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's a good thing. That's a positive. I like the way they block. Towson literally blocks people like he's trying to kill somebody. Like his intensity is insane. Art, did you see Arch in the press conference talking about Nick Towson?
No, I didn't. I haven't seen it.
He was like, I thought Nick was gonna kill somebody. Like he looked. He was like, I feel so bad for that other guy that he was dealing with.
He doesn't.
You could tell Nick. You could tell Arch when Nick got in the game. They were like, "Yo, this guy is wild, bro. Like, he's gonna play more because he comes in the game and he's pulling and he's trying to knock somebody out."
Like, good. That's what you want.
I know.
And by the way, that's gonna buy him more playing time because it's gonna show on film that he's being a selfless player. He's doing what he's supposed to do, and he's trying to put someone on their ass.
All right, so this is a positive and a negative, Michael.
What happened to Marcel Reed? Real quick,
he got injured. I did not see it. All I know is I think he hit his head. Did he hit it? Was it a? I'm not even going to speculate on what type of, but he had to be taken out of the game, right? He didn't come back.
Sorry, I don't really follow A&M that much until we play him.
All right. So the positive about the jumbo is we did it. I appreciate the super chat, Michael. The negative is
we got blown up when we did it.
we didn't.
We didn't execute. Didn't we lose 2 yards?
We got stuffed, and then when we ran it the second time, he scored. But then it was Cole Hudson went to the legs of somebody that was engaged, and it was a personal foul.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's so it's lack of execution.
It was high low hit, right?
Mm-hmm. High low hit.
Yeah, offensive high low hit.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's a problem. I like this. Punter's good.
Yeah, the first punt was not very good, but after that, he was strong. He was very strong.
Thank you for the super chat, John Wayne. I appreciate you, brother. So that's a positive. I think obviously I talked about this earlier. I really like how Ty Anthony Smith looked today.
Didn't he cause 2 fumbles?
I know he caused one for sure. I think Anthony Hill had the other one. Jalen Gilbo thought had a good game. I know he got an interception off the tip drill from Jelani. Jelani almost had another pick. There was a ball that hit Jelani in the head. Jelani could have had another one. But we had overall 4 turnovers today.
Yeah,
I think. What was the other? I'm trying to see what the other fumble was. Let me go to.
I know Hill had one where everyone said he was punching the guy in the face, but he was actually punching at the ball to try to knock it out.
Okay, so Hill had 2 forced fumbles.
Okay.
Smith had the other one, and then the Gilbo and tip drill interception. Yeah, Trey Moore. Trey Moore, he could have scored. I don't know why he dipped out of bounds. But then, honestly, I was like,
it looked like he got in to me.
Honestly though, I was like, kind of happy that he went out where he did because I'm like, I want the reps at the goal line. And it showed me what I needed to see is that shit is not fixed yet, like I needed to be. So it was a blessing and a curse, you know. We still scored. Jack Andrews still got the touchdown on there, so that's a positive. But I needed to see. Um, Also, so of the new faces, let's talk about this before we talk about the OU game. The new faces that we saw today. Um, what were your thoughts? I was I was a little underwhelmed with Christian Clark. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
Um,
he looked hesitant running.
Thought a
What was
little
it? What was his injury? Was it knee?
Achilles.
Achilles. Yeah, you could tell he just didn't look comfortable yet. And I think it's going to take a couple games before he actually feels comfortable. But yes, absolutely, that's the number one name that I saw that was a little underwhelming performance, and I'm pretty sure he'd want that. He probably wants that back.
And I'm just saying that because the expectation,
This is the second best running back, right? In the class.
We heard all this hype about him in camp, right? About how well he was running, how well he looked, blah blah blah. And so I was excited to see him out there, and it just was an underwhelming performance. Hopefully he can continue to get confidence, get better. I think it was too much east west, too much, I don't know, and I didn't see enough burst there. I didn't, I think I was expecting to see somebody that was going to put their foot down and have a little bit more acceleration or cut back. Or when they cut back, it's like there's a burst there. Like you kind of used to remember when Jonathan Brooks would come in the game, have that cut back and burst. But yeah, just like you said, I think it's a comfort thing. Starch Manning with the super chat. SEC more competitive this year. OU coming out of the woodwork tonight. Texas defense is legit. Can Arch's processing speed and calm get there by OU? That is a good question. That is a good question. Now, here's my only thing here. I'm giving OU credit for John Mateer and that offense because I know Michigan's defense is tough. I know Wink Martindale is a tough guy to go up against. I thought Wink was getting a little too cute, especially early in the game. And I think there were times where Wink and them forgot KYP principles, know your personnel.
Yeah.
If they go empty like that, the quarterback we got to have something for quarterback draw, coach. Don't act like you don't know that the boy is, that's a staple of what they do. Yet the kids seem to be unprepared. However, Michigan's defense is a good defense. They're going to be a good defense all year. If you do what John Mateer did against that type of defense, you earn my respect, period. Whether it's at home, neutral site, on the way, you earn my respect. OU's defense looks solid. The defensive line looks as good as advertised. However, I'm going to say this is what I'm saying, however, and I'll pass it to you, Tran. Michigan has a true freshman at quarterback and an underwhelming coaching staff and no playmakers at receiver that I see. There was not one person I saw that could threaten the defense on Michigan. To me, it's Bryce Underwood, Justice Haynes. Their next best player is the tight end who didn't play, the captain. That guy is good. He didn't play. There was nobody really to threaten the OU defense like that. Number one, Moss somebody, but like that's Guillory or whatever. He's not a consistent player. Like there was nobody. And then on top of that, that coach, that coordinator for Michigan, I'm sorry, BV ate his lunch. So like they weren't ready. They had no answers for any of like the traditional. BV played the hits tonight of his pressure stuff. This is stuff he was running at Clemson, Tran. Like to me, at least with Arch, because it's all disguise. It's all disguise. Either everyone's coming or no one's coming. And the thing is, we're used to that because we play them every year. So Arch and them are going to be used to understanding how to diagnose that stuff. At least they should be, right? That's why we've never had a problem scoring points against BV. Even when we lost, we put up 30. That's not so I'm not worried about the OU defense. That's my point. Until I see them do that against somebody legit. They turned up the defense was good against Illinois State and Michigan with a freshman and with no receivers. So I'm not ready to just bow all the almighty to the OU defense because I know how we carved them up the last time we saw them with Stutzman and all these other guys. So, but
So
John Mateer, you have my respect. That boy's legit.
yeah, I mean, well, I'm gonna first preface everything with OU has my respect regardless, like they do. I don't like them. They're a good team. They'll always be a good team, and they'll always play us hard. Now I will go to the Michigan game. Defensive line, Brent Venables is always going to have a strong defensive line. He's always going to want to pressure from his front seven wherever he can. The secondary was suspect. There was a lot of misreads by Michigan's quarterback where he was trying to throw up the sideline when the guy did a little post. There's a couple bombs that he missed completely, and the receivers were naked. So,
oh yeah, they had bust.
Yes, they will have opportunities to get their receivers in open space, and we've been able to do that. Now, will we be able to stop their quarterback? That's the question.
But, well, I think this is fair, Rob. Right now, the way we're running the ball, we would struggle. Whereas last year, Trey Wisener and then they were able to rip off chunk yardage in the run game, and Jake Majors and them were getting busy against OU last year. But right now, we are struggling. That is so. We'll know by Florida though.
We just got to get into the mindset of how we were playing, running the ball with Ohio State. That's what because we were running the ball. In my opinion, we were running the ball very well against Ohio State. We just couldn't pass the ball.
But why did we fall off today? Why is that not consistent week over week? Why is your run game not popping at home against San Jose State? And you said
Fuck
it.
If I know.
You said the D line was like what 270, bruh?
I don't know, man. To me, I felt like it. Like we came out even the first play. It looked like it was a run, but it's a pass, a little push pass that they did. They wanted to get something easy immediately and just start going with passing. Like they wanted to pass the ball. You can tell that they were trying to force that, I guess, to get cohesion, whatever. But with that said, I mean, I don't know why we couldn't move their defensive line.
All right, we need to have a conversation about the right tackle, and this is a safe space, and we're here for learning and growth because we don't have another option really. Nick Brooks is not playing right now. Kojo is obviously out for the season. Right now, Brandon Baker's struggling.
Yep.
He's struggling. His struggles came at inopportune times last week. Now, for parts of the game of Ohio State, he was fine. He held up fine. But the big parts in Ohio State, it was tough. But today, I mean, just some of the stuff he's getting beat on to where the quarterback is getting hit, that's not okay, dude.
No.
Like, I'm sorry. My quarterback can't be getting peppered against the San Jose State 5'8", them defensive linemen. I'm not going to be disrespectful. Those type of defensive linemen cannot just be beating you off the snap like that, where you're not even getting your hands on guys. Like Sark, look, let's keep it a buck. Sark covered it for him about not hearing the line call in the Ohio State game on the 4th down last week that ended the game. But it still seems that I don't know. Are they still having comms issues? This
I
is a
don't know.
home game. Shouldn't be. But I don't know. I'm just he has to ramp quickly. We need him. We need Brandon Baker to step up. It's a little concerning.
And that's where I think the run game comes into play. If you can establish the line of scrimmage on the run, it makes the pass pro a little bit easier. If you're getting 4 to 5 yards per clip, it makes all the difference from an offensive perspective.
Bone said make Towson the right tackle.
Dude, is Townsend stands all of us.
No, this is a Nick Towson
Yeah.
channel. But the tight ends, like Jordan, what Rob H was talking about, that play on the goal line, that was on Jordan Washington. But I've never been. Look. They talk about this in the NFL. Coaches, stop putting your tight ends 1-on-1 with defensive ends. That shit does not
It's
work.
not good. It's
not good, especially at your goal line. Don't do that. Don't do that. Justice Terry did play today. I saw him in there. Justice Terry did get some snaps today.
Was that in the fourth? Because I missed basically the entire fourth quarter.
I think it was the late third or fourth I saw him in. I didn't get to like focus in on his reps per se, but I saw him on the field. I have to just look at it. No, I mean this is his second start, David. His play is consistent right now. He is a redshirt freshman. It's going to take time. But he's struggling right now. The tape's the tape. I'm just saying right now from what we saw today, it's concerning because he's getting beat by guys that I don't think he should be getting beat by, even as a redshirt freshman. That's also where I'm at as well. So coming off of the Ohio State game, we want to make sure that by the time we get to conference play, and this is some of the things I talked about last year, right, Tran? At some point in the season, you as a staff know, can we fix it, or do we need to hide it? Because we just don't have a solution, so we need to hide this shit, right? Are we getting there with the right tackle where we don't have a solution? Like, we're just gonna have to live with it, and he's just gonna have to learn, right? Or do we have time? Is there another option? Do we need to? Is he good in the run game, but he just needs to be babysat with a tight end over there, right? So, what do you do now? Again, you have UTEP and Sam Houston to figure that out. But right now, that question is starting to come to the borderline for me, Tran.
I mean, what are our options now aside from? I'm not talking about like, is it fixable or how do we hide it? What are our options other than him?
Nick Brooks, who's not playing right now, and the guy that was competing with him is gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The other guys aren't right tackles.
No, so this is a hey, we need to fix this shit within the next two weeks. If not, we got to figure something out or have someone chip on that edge. And if you notice that, like when we go pass pro with a running back, do you notice he's always on the right side?
Yeah,
he starts off on the he's always on the right side. He's so I think they've
also could depend on what side the tight end is on too.
Yeah, but every time I've seen like Baxter back there protecting, he always starts with the right side and he reads where the blitz is coming from if there is a blitz.
Pass pro was fine today.
Yeah, Yeah, it felt like he had too much time, which I don't want him getting comfortable with. Like that touchdown to injuries, like it felt like it was a 4-second pocket. I'm not joking. Watch it again. I'm like, oh, like it was a great. I'm glad we got the touchdown and everything like that. But conference play, you're not going to get that much time. I don't want him to get used to just sitting back there. Oh, okay, I can go through 4 different reads and then hit whoever gets open.
I hope we're not having this conversation, but I hope not, Josh. Here's the thing, because right now, let's be honest, people are having this conversation about the receivers
Mm-hmm.
because,
Well, we did.
and we did.
He's just injured.
He's injured,
Yeah.
right? And right now, I don't know the status of DeAndre Moore. If somebody knows or got information from the paid sites, I've been watching ball all day, so I haven't checked or anything. I hope the brother's okay, but I don't know DeAndre Moore's status. But that would mean that McCutcheon's going to play a lot more now in the slot. Who I like. He actually threw a nice block on the arch touchdown run. McCutcheon, that is. So I think him playing more is not necessarily a negative. I just want to make sure that DeAndre Moore is going to be okay long term. But yeah, Mosley has a soft tissue issue. Those are very finicky, unfortunately. I don't know when we're going to see him. Khalil Lockett played today. Caught everything that was thrown. Came his way. Seemed to be on program with Matthew Caldwell. Also, we saw Matthew Caldwell make his debut as a Longhorn today, Tran.
Yep.
But Khalil Lockett looked fine. I know Jamie French tried to come in the game and it was a penalty. I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, I mean, Lockett looked fine. My question is, why isn't he playing more? It's probably he doesn't know the whole offense. I felt bad for Aaron Butler. They really tried to work Aaron Butler in today. Tran and I both called him out pregame, talking about how big these games are for him. But I don't know. I don't know if he got the best ball.
The one up the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, it was
high. It was a hard ball to pull in.
Yeah, but they just didn't get a whole lot of opportunities like that, honestly. I mean, the good stuff was Livingstone and the tight ends. That's where the chunk stuff came from. So that's it's a little frustrating, right? Because then we go to the 2:30 games, and Decorian Moore is popping off at Oregon, and it's like, oh yeah, that guy would have been wide receiver 1 on this team. That guy would have been like a fresh it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's more of what Sark's receivers typically look like, is what Decorian when he made that play in the Oregon game today. But I don't know. We need, and I'm saying this. I'm all saying this about the receivers. I'm again. Livingstone's your 1 now. It is what it is.
Yeah. So everyone's given. I'm sorry for interjecting or anything like that, but everyone's given Wingo a lot of crap. The reason why Wingo's in that starting lineup is because he is a big target. Number 1, number 2. When he does get the ball in his hands, he does special things with it.
But he's not being consistent.
Yeah, I get that. But like I said,
you're right.
You can't just quit on that kid.
No,
you have to give him his reps and get him comfortable within the offense and get him comfortable with Arch as well. Once he's comfortable, man, like I said, he could take a little hitch route, turn it up for 60 yards. I don't know how many other players on our team who could do that from a physicality standpoint.
My problem with Wingo is he's not a receiver yet. He's an athlete. I'm the same. I'm here.
Yeah.
His route running is bad.
Oh yeah.
His route running's bad. And last year we didn't notice these things because he got to play off of the real receivers. where it was like you were saying, Tran, just got the
Blame
ball in his
Missouri.
hands.
Don't blame Texas. Blame Missouri. They just don't develop in Missouri.
He's more raw than I thought. Like the technique, like it's not consistent, and I think that's another reason why you have the inconsistencies with some of the balls that get thrown his way, right? Because one of the things with route runners is the good ones, they're always going to cut their shit where it needs to be cut based upon the, the concept. And when you're rounding stuff off at 11 yards and it's supposed to be 8 or 9 yards, well, that could be the difference in the completion, right? There's no doubt about how good he is with the ball in his hands when he is getting out in space, when he catches it on a screen. Even some stuff he has caught downfield, like he can make plays, but he just seems to be just a raw receiver. And Austin, you know what, bro? Somebody lied. Hey, Austin, somebody lied, because what happened to the scrimmage where he caught 3 touchdowns after he didn't practice? Where's that guy? Where he was destroying our whole secondary, like, and just unstoppable, and was connecting with Arch on deep passes. Well, somebody lied, because it's been 2 games since he's been here in this role, and right now it just seems like he's more suited to just be an athlete. Like, he's still where he was last year, is what I'm saying. Which is not a bad thing. He's not a bad football player. He's a good football player, but he's not a great receiver yet. He's not a receiver one that is just going to beat different types of coverages and help us like that. Like, it's a little bit of a struggle, and I'm gonna need him to step up if DeAndre's missing time. If DeAndre's gonna miss time, he we got to get going, Bubba. Or the coaches got to figure out, all right, your route tree is going to be a little bit more condensed, but we're not going to shy away from getting you the ball. Like, we're going to still get the ball to you, even if it's only slants, goes, and post. That's all you run. That's all you can. That still helps me because he's still one of our best athletes. And teams do respect Wingo. I do think you see people covering him. But Dimple Wonder said, we're being too harsh on Wingo. I think we're being too hard on Wingo right now. I've seen him running open frequently and being missed. I think it's a double-edged sword. He had a big opportunity for a chunk play today, and it was
on the second drive, right?
Yeah, I mean,
he had one-on-one coverage over the middle. He needs to catch that.
Yeah. I think we're being hard on him too. I think you're fair. I think you're right. I mean, he's a young player. I think we're being hard on him right now because we wouldn't be being hard on him right now
because of what we heard.
If we had Matthew Golden still.
Yeah.
If we still had because of what we heard. Yes. Yeah. Great point. It's because of what we heard, and it's because of what we need, and we're not getting.
And if we do start getting it, that unlocks our offense. In my opinion, it unlocks our offense.
I mean, we're talking about an offense right now. We've scored, 6 touchdowns this year? Right? 3 of them are to Parker Livingstone. Arch has 1 rushing TD, and the
other 2 are injuries.
2 were Jack Indris.
No. Didn't we have a run-in with Baxter? Didn't Baxter have a touchdown?
That got called back.
Did it? Okay, it did. Yeah, you're right.
It got called back.
Yeah.
So Baxter he had a touchdown dance, but it got called back. And then Jack Indris scored. So we're really talking about a team, like, we scored 38 points today. And yeah, we scored 28 points in 4 minutes and 15 seconds. The rest of the game, we had 10. We're pressing right now, guys. We had 7 points last week for a whole football game. Like Do the math. Do the math. If we had blown these guys out today, Tran, and we did blow them out, but you know what I mean, like 55-7, just assertive dominance type stuff, and Wingo was still having that would be super nitpicky, right? Because it's like, well, you know what, the run game is cranking, bro. The tight ends are like, we got all this other stuff. Wingo can take his time. No, I'm sorry. With what we have right now and the lack of explosiveness we have in the run game, I know Wisner didn't play. I know he didn't. That's a big piece. Because if Wisner had played, he's taking a lot of touches today. We have to factor that in. I understand that. In both run and pass. But even if Wisner had played today, when we go to Florida, we need Ryan to be ramped. We need Wingo against Florida. We don't have all these other people we can count on right now, especially if we don't know the nature of more. And I think what also hurt is we didn't have a spring game, so everybody was just literally going off of practice.
What people told us, yeah.
What people told us,
yeah.
Right now, as this iteration of this 2025 team, us as fans, because this is fanatic perspective, and make sure you hit that like button a whole bit. But on fanatic perspective, us as fans, us as the people, we've only seen them on the field twice. That's all we have to go off of. We're not at practice. So we haven't seen when he's had these great days that the coaches have seen or some people in the media have seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can only judge what we've seen. And so far what we've seen is a team that scored 7 points last week and a team that scored 38 today against a bad team, and 28 of those points happened in 4 minutes. So, yes, we have to be critical right now. And I'm not going to shy away from this because I was told that I was too critical at times last year, and then all the stuff I was critical about was why we didn't win the championship last year. So I'm not shying. I'm not cooling off anymore because we have our expectations, I think, are justified until they're not. But let me read the super chat, Chan, and then we can hit on one other thing and we can get out of here. ZT Sports, thank you for the super chat. I believe we have a championship level defense. I agree with you. Maybe a 9-3 offense. I don't know if I can call this a 9-3 offense right now. This is like a 7-win offense to me right now, bro. Between the penalties, the lack of execution in run game, the quarterback that's still trying too hard. He's making plays. He's a playmaking quarterback. He's an explosive quarterback, but he's young. And then we don't have all these explosive playmakers around him like we thought we were going to have. That's the offense right now. So we got work to do.
Yeah, the offense looks uncoordinated. I mean, honestly, it's just like it to me, sometimes some of the play calling is just, there's no rhyme or reason behind it. But back to the Ringo thing, I maybe to me it's in between the ears, and he's just buying the hype that people are selling about him. And
I just don't think he's there yet as a player. I don't think it's his fault. I just see a guy that's raw. Like I don't know. Maybe I don't think he's. I don't know. I don't know if it's a Colin Simmons thing where he's pressing. Do you think he's pressing? You think he's pressing?
No. I just think he's overthinking things. That's what I think. Like, because to me, when you're dropping something wide open, it's not about technique. At this age, these kids, they would not be at a power program if they could not catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? They're not that. It's all a mental thing of him just watching the ball into his hands, catching it, and running it.
I'm not on the Sarko C train yet, but I hear you guys. It's getting louder each week. The the Sark the Sarko C group continues to rise. To
Gundy's going to be
rise.
available probably pretty soon.
Yeah, the Mike Gundy we've mutually decided to part ways.
Unless he holds him hostage again. I swear he has some.
That shit's gonna hit like crack.
He's got some epic level of photos on something on someone who, like, you remember last year they wanted to fire him, and then all of a sudden, like, you know what, we're not going to fire him.
The 12 the 12 penalties. Oh, this is something I have for y'all before we sign off tonight, to Victor's point. But yeah, Josh, we did discuss the 12 penalties. We've discussed it intermittently throughout, but like honestly, it's a big problem. And I've been trying to touch on it here and there. Now, if we want to talk about the exact penalties, some of those, like we talked about Colin Simmons pressing, the extracurricular stuff, that gotta level set, right? Gotta iron that stuff out. But the other stuff is frustrating. Like DJ Campbell's holding stuff. Brother, we're in year 4. You're the oldest guy on the line. You're the most experienced guy on the line. He's been underwhelming. I can't even talk about DJ Campbell because we've had other problems, but like he's been underwhelming too for an older guy. I expect more from him. I need him to play better. DJ, that is. I'm not seeing a dominant player that I think he was first team All SEC preseason. I don't see a first team All SEC preseason guard right now.
Nope, not right now.
And he gets grabby. And I still wonder about his conditioning.
And I'm going to be honest with you, that will probably not change throughout the whole year.
So that's another thing we got to deal with then.
Yeah.
So, but
hey, also there was a punt return that we had a hold on there. When did holds on punt returns cost us 15 yards? Or did the ref misspeak?
I think he misspoke.
Okay, because he said 15-yard penalty.
No, I think he probably just misspoke.
Okay.
But I'm going to go to this here. Because Dimple, I know you think we're being a little harsh. Brother, I'm not saying that they're going to be a 7-win offense the whole season. We're saying as of right now, what we have seen through the first 2 games, think about how many negative plays San Jose State created today with their defense on our offense. I watched the San Jose State team. They're not good. And so it is frustrating. And again, I'm not just going to just hammer the young guy excuse. Oh, we played a lot of young guys. I mean, aren't we with the same people beating our chests about depth and how deep we are? We can't then have that same energy about, well, we're this or we're that. Like, we got to, come on. The defense is going to buy us a lot of time. But the defense has their stuff too. And there's going to come a time where the defense is going to need the offense. And it might be that OU game when they're dealing with that maniac playing quarterback back there. Because here's the reality. We play John Mateer, the second week of October, right? That's not that long from now. So those of you who are worried about, well, can John Mateer sustain all these hits? It's not like we're playing them when we play A&M and it's the end of the season. You see what I'm saying? Like, we can't think like that. We're going to play this guy relatively early in the conference schedule. That's our second conference game. So I don't care. As a Texas fan, I don't care about how long it's sustainable because I'm seeing him earlier. That's my point. If we were playing them when we were playing A&M, that's totally different conversation. Because now I'm playing somebody that's been beaten up all year. You see what I'm saying? Like it's just different. It's a different conversation. Um, but we'll see. This team, though, Victor said about Ryan Day. This is somebody I wanted to ask. Oh, Tran, do you want to talk about the Ryan Niblett stuff? Because I know that's been on your chest, the kick return stuff.
I mean, I said it's I don't know what's going on. There's no rhyme or reason. Um, all last week he had punt safe and punt return off, and then he tried to return stuff here and it just didn't work. Then it just hasn't been. It just hasn't been just baked out of, like, I'm used to Silas Bolden, and just going whatever you can. Like, he's like, I'm going to return anything. I don't care.
Silas, baby.
I don't care.
And just he was fearless.
Yeah, he was fearless. I'm used to that, which also kind of irked me a little bit because it made me nervous that we were going to fumble, but he never fumbled. So, I don't know what's up with that. I thought special teams was okay this week. I thought it was. I mean, I like the punt block call. Manny just got a little overzealous. I think Taft got called for the penalty, but it wasn't Taft. But they did their research. They knew that if you bring pressure from the left side, you're gonna get there. We did. We missed it by a fingertip. It is what it is.
The Adventures is yeah. Silas was the greatest choose your own adventure book we've ever seen.
And then finally he busted one.
Silas, baby. Shout out to our boy Silas. He's on the Texans practice squad? The Texans or the Vikings. Yeah. One of the practice.
I think
he's on somebody's roster.
I think he's the Texans. So someone said that they didn't like the punt block call for our struggling offense. Is like, the reason why I like it is because the offense was struggling. We had to do something. Like sometimes you got to take something. Like, you and I were watching the Ohio State game, and then we'd return kickoffs from 6 yards deep, and both of you and I looked at each other like, well, our offense sucks right now, so we got to try to do something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Silas, man.
So, David, I'm not saying that. I know you're a DJ guy. I'm not saying DJ's a bad player. I'm just saying for his this
stature and his name, like the accolades that he's already being bestowed upon him.
Yeah, we need to see more consistency. He gets penalized too much. Even still, this like. You're right. He's great in pool game. He's still one of our best run guys. Totally get it. I don't think there's anything wrong with challenging to say, hey, I want more for you guys. I want more for you guys. Because y'all have that type of ability, we feel like. And we know what this team can be when we're clicking. Right? And we're executing and we're locked in. Right? Like, you could tell today, when the point when the defense locked in versus when we were just kind of like, you said it perfectly earlier, going through the motions versus when they really, really started hunting. It changed the whole game. You can tell body language wise when our guys are locked in. We watch these guys too much to not know. You know what I mean? So my concern is this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to drop this little small grenade and bounce. My concern is this team, to me, at times smells like that Ohio State team from 2023 with Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison. That was good, but they weren't great. And they never got their offense together that year. And that was Ryan Day's last year of calling plays before Chip Kelly came in. And I'm not saying Arch is calm court or anything. Arch is here for the long haul. We're not gonna flip on him like that or anything. But I don't know. I'm just getting some of those vibes right now. Because I remember when they were struggling to score points against bad teams, that was a big sign for me. Like today, right? Ohio State plays Grambling 70-0. That's what I'm used to seeing from Ohio State against teams like that. That 2023 Ohio State team, I forgot who they were playing. They were playing somebody terrible, and they beat them like 37-6,
24-14 or something
24-14.
Like that.
And it was like something's off, and it never got like they beat a top 5 Notre Dame team that year. I'm not they won 10 or 11 games that year. Okay, so I'm not saying, but what I am saying is they also knew we didn't do enough in the portal. That's when they went and got a Quinshon Judkins and said, we will leave no stone unturned this time. I don't care if it's going to hurt people's feelings that are already on the team, but is what it is. I agree, John Wayne. San Jose is not Grambling. I agree. But Central Michigan did some things better today or yet last week than we did. That's also a concern. And I think we're better than Central Michigan. I think we should be able to run the ball better. I'm not saying we should have run for the same amount of yards, but the fact that we weren't as proficient as they were and that we couldn't execute certain blocks that they were able to execute is a concern for me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna leave it at that. Tran, what are your final thoughts on everything today? Where do you want to go?
I mean, my final thoughts is like, hey, look, we won. I know we're being nitpicky because we like before the season, I think I said it was an 11-1 team. Right now, it's not 11-1 team. I could see us 9-3 team. Honestly, I can see 2 more losses. I can honestly even see 4 losses, depending on what type of team we bring, because the penalties need to be cleaned up, and usually a undisciplined team doesn't really get undisciplined, like more disciplined throughout the year. They don't shore it up. So I'm very concerned about that. But I just want to see us get better week over week, like I said, because weird things happen. Like once you get on like a roll, okay, sweet. Oh, we won this game. Oh, wow, we did a little bit better against UTEP. Oh, we dominated Sam Houston State, and then you go into the bye where you have a pretty rough stretch of Florida, at Florida, and Oklahoma. You get 2 weeks to prep for Florida, and Florida has now played 4 or 5 games that you can actually prep for what they like to do from that standpoint. So, like I said, I like the way that this season sets up, and it's not the end of the world that it's not a perfect season so far. I'd rather us have some adversity early on in the season. That way we can get better and better and better and fight through it. So when adversity does hit during playoff time, hell, we're ready.
So my final thoughts are Florida today is a good example of why I'm so bullish on us trying to win this year. Because there's a lot of these teams are flawed. Most of these teams are flawed, very flawed. And we were talking about, and the way Florida looked today was very concerning for the stretch that they're about to go into. But
it's none of my concern what Florida does.
But that's why I'm like, if y'all get y'all stuff together, the benefits. Some of these teams aren't even the juggernaut that we thought they were going to be this year. But if we're also getting in our own way, then it doesn't matter. And now we're in a dogfight regardless against a team that we're like, now it looks like, damn, if we had the 2024 Texas, we would have whooped everybody's ass. Like, I don't want that to be the narrative. Because then it's like, damn, we missed the boat again. And I just want to see those things. My biggest thing though is I'm gonna end where I started. The situational football has to improve. You have to be better starting games. You have to be better going into halftime. You have to be better coming out of halftime. And you have to be better at the end of the game. And all of those areas, Texas is lost. Not just Ohio State, but also San Jose State in those situational areas. Two for 12 on third down. That needs, like, Sark needs to put that in big letters and put that shit in the locker room. Say, this is
What were we in Ohio State? What were we at Ohio State? Because I know we were horrible at Ohio State on third down as well.
Yeah, we were bad on third down versus Ohio State. Let me pull that up real quick. So 2 for 12. I mean, 2 for 12 on third down. I mean, come on. So Ohio State, we were 5 for 14.
No, we were better. Holy crap.
We were better, but we were 1 for 5 on fourth down. That's what killed us. Right? We were 1 for 5. So again, why am I giving praise to OU? Why am I giving praise to John Mateer? John Mateer and his
moving
offense against Michigan, 9 for 17 on third down today. 9 for 17 on third down. I'm on it, Austin. Me and you were talking during the game. Austin sees what I'm saying. They were 9 for 17 on third down. Those third downs versus Michigan tonight, especially in the fourth quarter, in the key moments, they were moving the chains. Michigan was getting stops in the middle periods. Michigan was getting stops. Michigan was getting momentum. But every time it got to like 3 minutes left in the half, 5 minutes left in the game, that's when OU played their best ball. That's when Mateer made all the plays. That's when they were there. They opened the game with Mateer scoring. They got a score right before half to go up 2.
Yep.
And then they did what they did at the end of the game. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm now saying we need to be concerned with OU, because they understand how to play situational football just with this quarterback alone. They did all those things. They ticked all those boxes. That Texas is not ticking those boxes right now. And it won't matter versus UTEP. It won't matter versus Sam Houston State. It may not even matter versus Florida. But it will matter when we play OU. It will matter when we play Georgia. It will matter. Are you winning those situational periods? Are you playing your best ball with the last 5 minutes left in the game? The one win that Sark has versus all these top teams was 2023 Bama. How did we finish? You remember how we finished that game? We dominated.
Yeah, we were running the clock out.
Right. That's how you finish game. That's the one. That's why we won, because he was better in those periods. So Rob said that the O-line is too nice. We need to get some nasty in there. I agree. We need
more Towson.
We need more Towson.
I hope he watches this and he's just like, yeah. Give me more Towson.
We need more Towson on the offensive line. That 7-minute drive in Tuscaloosa, that's when I thought we had turned a page. And I haven't seen that was remember how nasty they were? Alabama couldn't do Nathan with that. That's what we're talking about. Today, even at the end of the game, we got the backups in. Jared Gibson fumbles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it just, yeah, we've got to lock in. It can happen. But I start to wonder if we continue to see start like Train. You come to me, Steve. Yo, 2 minute drill was sloppy in the UTEP
Well,
game, man.
yeah,
Then we got to start asking: are
yeah.
we emphasizing this in practice? Is this like? Is there a disconnect because we're seeing the same consistent things over and over again? So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Between Twitter and YouTube, we got 490 in here right now. 12:30 at night. I know it's the end of another college football Saturday. We're happy ball is back. Again, Tran, congrats to Jordan on his first tackle stuff today and getting a W.
35-0 BTA.
You got to get up early, so I'm gonna cut this thing. I appreciate you hanging out with me. This was a lot of
Always,
fun.
man.
Thank you guys for all the super chats, all the just the good talk. We'll be back this week to break everything down and talk. But remember, horns always up. Hook 'em.